What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Rain Knight Gaming. I'm Rain Knight, and I wanted to sit down and talk to you guys about a subject that I think if you're new to TCGs, you don't really know about, or you just may want more information about it, or hear what my, what I think about it, which, hey, I have opinions. Do they matter? I don't know. But that is going to be net decking. Net decking, if you don't know what it is, it's basically anytime you would go online and just copy off, somebody else's deck list, play that deck list. That's called net decking. And you'll have people on both sides of the fences. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Some people do ride the line and they just don't care. But in my opinion, net decking is perfectly fine. In fact, I suggest it. Whether you're new, whether you're a noob, whether you're a pro, everyone should net deck. It's one of those things where why reinvent the wheel? I mean, the people that, the detractors for net decking want to say, hey, you guys shouldn't be, sheep, shouldn't be meta sheep. You got to do your own thing, make your own stuff. Why? I mean, just look at like industry and inventions of things in the actual world. Again, you don't rebuild the wheel. You take what's there already that somebody else built and make it better. I mean, that's what makes things better in the world themselves. If you're not good at deck building, net deck. Learn how somebody else is building and you're going to learn little things. The more decks you play, the better you're going to get at building decks. And even the guys that are really good at building decks really push that meta, on the bleeding edge of it. They net deck because they don't start from scratch on every single thing. They see what some people might be doing. They may see some deck that's playing a certain card and then they want to play that card. I mean, there's certain cards that you see that as the meta evolves through the first set we had, there are certain cards you didn't see played at all. Then near the end, they were always played. I think Corsica Base was a good example of that. People saw that it was really good, and then it was in every blue deck, That's just one of those things that, over time, as people net deck and learn from other people, decks get better. People understand cards more. It's just one of those things where you want to build off the work of everyone else. So if you guys have opinions, let me know in the comments down below what you think about net decking. Are you ones that like doing it? Are you guys that hate it and you don't wish anybody could net deck? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to have a discussion with you guys and see what you have to think on the subject. As we continue on the subject of net decking, I want to talk about meta. Because the meta is pretty important. And if you net deck, you copy off the meta decks. Some people don't like seeing a meta, or they said, there is no meta. There won't be a meta until there's, set 3. And they couldn't be more wrong. I mean, will we have a flushed out decks that are like exactly how Bandai wanted right off the bat? No. But any meta, it's just the popular decks that are doing well. We could have, just the structure decks. And there was a meta. People figured out what decks were the best. This was that. All through the beta, people, had bare bones cards. There was a meta. It was mostly blue-white. But of course, people did discover little things and it evolved over time. As people kind of looked what other people were playing, started going with that. Good example also is the ping deck. I forget the guy's name. If you guys remember, let me know in the comments down below. It was one of the Eagles Nest tournaments before the game actually came out. I think this was like maybe 2 months before the game came out. We were starting to get more and more red cards. And people really didn't play it because nobody really knew how they worked or they couldn't figure out how it was going to go. And then all of a sudden, boom, we had ping. And people were just like, what is this ping deck? And he just came right out of nowhere and won. Oh, it's Levi. I think it was Levi. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys think I'm wrong on that one. He came out with this deck and it just kind of took over for a short period of time. But of course, it's been in the meta the entire time. And I'm sure even he was like looking at other decks, what they were doing, and then eventually evolved into this ping deck as he figured it's like, oh, this build works really good with these cards, and this goes really well together, and it came out of nowhere. And then people just kept on starting and going from that because the ping deck looks pretty different than it did at the very beginning, because, cards change here and there. So really super interesting. That ping deck was one of the ones that, I first saw it come out. Super interesting. People didn't even really know what to call it. He actually named it, so that's pretty cool. You have a thing that you named. Really awesome. And then you can also see the evolution of the aggro decks. When we first started in the beta, you did have the blue, the Operation, not Operation Meter. You had the 1 Year War. It didn't have a name yet, and it didn't even have all the cards it has now. But people built that why do I want to say Operation Meteor? I don't know. That 1 Year War deck, and people kept on copying off of it and extending it and make it a little bit better, make it a little better and a little better. I think one good example of people that are net decking and improving decks as you go is the Char's Galgoog. When that card came out, you always played it 4. It was 4/4/4. You had to play it at 4. It's too good. And now it's not even in the deck sometimes. Maybe you play 1, maybe you play 2, but you don't play 3. And that's just something, as people were seeing what other people were playing and just kind of learned off of it through net decking and just practicing, getting things evolving. They understood, you don't need a bunch of these. In fact, you don't even need it, because the strategy wants to stay really low to the ground, and this is a really heavy card. So it was interesting to see how that evolved, from not existing, tons of it in the meta, very little of it in the meta, sometimes none of it in the meta. So that's another thing of people just learning from other people's mistakes and victories. People might see a deck that somebody tried out, and they see it's like, here's that deck, I'm going to build this, but it doesn't work that well. So they might take that deck, fiddle with it a little bit, and somehow make something pretty decent out of it, or learn something from it. And that's my whole idea of net decking, is the constant evolution of things that are going on in the game, that if people aren't net decking, the game is not going to evolve. You need it to make the game evolve. If people are just trying to build crap that they somehow figured out could go together a little bit, but don't bother to play anything else anybody else has played, the game's just not going to do very well. So if you're ever asked, do you like net decking? Do you not like net decking? You say whatever you want. But if they ask me, I love net decking. And I think if you asked 10 people if they net decked, you would probably have 7-8 people that say they love net decking, and then 3-2 people that are lying where they say they don't net deck, because everyone does it. But okay, guys, that's gonna be it for me. Let me know if you like this kind of just straight face cam general ideas stuff from me. I might not do any more of it. I might do some more of it. Who knows? I just feel like talking straight to you guys about this subject because I read about it a lot, and I just kind of wanted to get my thoughts out there. I know I kind of rambled. I'm a rambly old man. Okay, that's it for me. You guys know what I always say. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And I'll see you in the next one. See ya.